Hi, my name is Yashika Paramkisham, and I am a rising senior, class of 2020 at Enloe, and I'm interning at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill through a program called the Carolina Health Informatics Program, also known as CHIP. So, a little bit about me. I'm planning on majoring in and doing my bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering and then going to med school to study psychiatry. I'm also hoping to work in industry before I go to med school. So, if that seems to be a better fit for me, I'm open to staying there. And I'm going to talk about my internship now. I work under my mentor, who is a research professor at the UNC School of Medicine, and she's also on the CHIP faculty. We research the late effects of cancer on adolescents and young adults with an emphasis on cognition. My roles include literature review, data organization, and survey writing. I'm going to talk more about the specifics of what I do. A few basic skills that I need for my internship are word processing and basic data mining. We perform a lot of literature review, which basically entails us finding relevant articles and gathering the most pertinent pieces of information so that we're prepared with knowledge before we really delve into studying the late effects of cancer on the target populations. So, the literature review serves to provide a background for us, and the data mining helps us extract the key pieces of information that will help us better understand our study and our area of study. So, some of the high school classes that have assisted the most in completing these tasks, I would say, are biology, biomedical technology, and health science. So, the reason that I think that biology and biomed were helpful specifically to me were that they helped me understand the mechanisms of the disease cancer and its effects and how it functions and affects the human body. And having that background better enabled me to understand what the target population, the survivors, what they were going through as a result of their cancer. And in these classes, we also learned about the treatments for the disease and knowing that the patients experience these treatments better enabled me to put myself in their shoes so I could become a better researcher and a better intern. Another class that has helped me is health science because it has an emphasis on success skills for the workplace, such as teamwork and communication, both of which are incredibly important when you're doing an internship or anything in the corporate world. And I'm going to talk about some aspects of my internship, what was fun and what was challenging. I think the most rewarding part of my internship is that knowing that we were helping an underserved population. The thing is, cancer research, it's often having a big emphasis on certain types of cancer, namely breast cancer, that all the other cancers are kind of overshadowed, or there's a lot of research on the pediatric and the geriatric populations, but not usually on the adolescent and young adult population. That's AYAs and between the ages of 15 and 39, because that age group of people tends to be healthier, but it doesn't mean that they are completely safe from cancer, but all it means is that when they are affected by cancer, they're just not having access to as many resources as they could due to the lack of research in that age range. Some of the most challenging part of I don't think this is particular to my internship, but in research in general, a lot of it is labor in that you're cleaning data. So it's a lot of copy and pasting and moving and deleting. So it's kind of like doing the same thing over and over again. Like sometimes if you're making graphs, you just have to click the same buttons over and over, and it can get tedious at some point at some times, but knowing that it's for like a good cause and seeing the final products of our research makes up for it. There's some personal characteristics that are important to not just my internship, but internships as a whole and the workplace environment. And I think I experienced that it's really important to be open minded because different people in my team will have different ideas. It can be about like small things such as like physical formatting or how we approach a certain literature review, or it can be more like functional. So, how do we want to organize our study? Like, what kind of survey we want to use? So, everyone has different reasons for thinking a certain way. So, it's important to hear out everyone and make sure that you have a good listening skills so that you can create and contribute the most successful products. And it's also important to show empathy, not only to your own group, but towards the field of study. Like, it's important to understand that the people who we are trying to serve through our research, the AYAs, they have been through something very difficult, cancer, and it's important to understand that and to show that to like just be understanding of their situation so that it makes you a better researcher. And now some job skills. So in regard to soft skills, I mentioned a little bit previously, soft skills are communication, and it's important to have a good work ethic because some of our tasks can be really repetitive and not difficult necessarily. Sometimes they can be, but it can just be really, uh, really repetitive. So that's why it's important to be on top of your work. And sometimes it's also important to be a critical thinker, especially when you're trying to develop a survey or something of that nature. Because we've sent out surveys to like survivors and people who are have worked with survivors to understand their point of view. So not developing the survey itself, you also have to be able to think about what might the person be able to answer, what might they not know, what would encourage them actually to check their email and take the survey. So there's a lot of small aspects that you might not consider, but they're equally important. Some hard skills, I also mentioned these earlier. So, data analysis and word processing. Word processing is mostly used for information compilations. So, whenever we look at our articles and we're like extracting pieces of data, you have to arrange them somewhere. So, we use spreadsheets and documents, nothing special. So, just a basics on that. That's always helpful. And data analysis for our survey, we got responses from survivors, and we were able to quantify what they said and make graphs. So it's important to be comfortable with data. And even if you're not, it's something that'll come to you. And workplace environments, they usually provide, at least at my internship, they did provide a great training and they gave us a lot of information. So this was not as daunting as it could have been. Now I have some advice. So you probably hear this a lot, but it's really important to start early when you're looking for your internship. Otherwise, everything's going to be gone and you're going to be scrambling at the last minute, and that's really stressful. For my internship, I actually started the summer before my junior year, so this is my second year doing it. And so this internship procedure, it was very smooth of a transition for me because I had already been into it for a while and I didn't really have to adjust too much. And another thing that's really important is that you look for something you like. You have to enjoy what you're doing. And some things that make my internship enjoyable for me are that I know I'm doing a good thing and I'm learning skills that I was not possessing before. So that's always something really positive for me that I like to focus on. And I get along really well with my team and my research professor. We are very close, and that makes this internship something that I look forward to continuing, which I plan to do. And most of all, I guess it's really important that you try to learn from it and keep an open mind. Before I did my internship, I think I was really rigid in my career choices and expectations, but now I'm considering more options in what I want to do in college and what I want to do after college. For example, now I'm considering maybe doing some humanities based research in college, whereas previously I would have only done lab based or STEM based research. But this internship has taught me to explore different options and careers. So it's important that you let it teach you the things that it's supposed to teach you. I hope that you learned something from this, and I hope that you have a good time searching for internships and participating in one that is the best fit for you. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.